Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I want to talk about job security. Now, when I make these videos, and you out there in YouTube land are very gracious enough with your time to watch them and like them, which you can do now, just hit the like, it's great. I get the feedback from the data that YouTube provides, and YouTube provides prodigious amounts of data. I'm not going to go into it. If you want a video about the amount of data YouTube gives me, let me know. I'll make it. But trust me, it'll be a long, boring video. Anyway, there is one piece of data which is very, very important, and that is the age of my viewership. And of course, it will come as virtually no surprise whatsoever to any of you that it tends to be people who are aged 45 and older. Seriously, 90% of my viewership is people older than 45. So to anyone else out there who's younger than 45, hey kids, thanks for watching. And don't worry, you'll soon be over 45 and you can join the club. But until you get there, keep watching, keep hitting that like button. And then just watch as us grumpy old men put the world to rights. Now, why do I mention the age group? Well, because my viewership really, those over 45 split more or less down the middle into boomers and Gen Xers. And the boomers have all retired and the Gen Xers are all coming up to retirement. And so we're okay. Our jobs are fine. We're at such a level, we've got that experience, we're in a role already that we'll see our time out. We'll get to the point of retirement and we are fine. But it's the younger ones, it's the kids, our kids and our grandkids that will not have these opportunities. Artificial intelligence is taking over the world. It's already in accounts. There's nobody as an accounts clerk anymore because you have the likes of Xero or QuickBooks that are effectively doing all the work of an accounts clerk. And so it's the next step up. It's your sort of accounts managers of bookkeepers level that are going in and doing, a little bit to just tidy it up. But most of the accounts clerk work is done because of artificial intelligence. But that's not just in accounts, it's in lots of different jobs where it's all being automated, where even responses are being automated, and it's looking at experiential things. There's big data, this is if this, then this, and this, and this, and this, and there's all these different choices, and the computers are making these decisions. So people aren't needed. To such an extent that even IBM is getting rid of 7,800 jobs and replacing these people with artificial intelligence. If IBM can do it, what hope is there for anyone else? And don't forget, we managed to get to our jobs because we started at the bottom and worked the way up. Kids today won't have those jobs to start at to work their way up, which is why I think there's been this push for the sort of universal basic income, because they know that going forward, most people, they just won't have jobs. There'll just be no jobs to have. Let's look at this article to see why IBM are shifting so many jobs and consider how many more could go. So IBM will pause hiring as the CEO says around 7,800 non-customer facing roles could be replaced by AI and automation in the next 5 years. Back office roles, which include human resources, equal roughly 26,000 jobs. Tasks which can be replaced involve provision of employment verification letters. This comes as the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank sparked fears about tech layoffs. But it wasn't just the bank, it isn't just IBM. It's everywhere. They're all laying off, they're all not hiring because the software is getting better and better and it's now doing real jobs that real people used to do. Now, of course, I'm a technophile. I mean, I was using, what do you call them? Oh, I can see it, teletypes. I was using a teletype, paper-based teletype, to tap into a mainframe to run a Fortran program back in 1979. I was 12 years of age. And then I got a home computer, I got a Spectrum. In fact, if you look behind me, there's a ZX Spectrum Mark II there. Up there, there's an IBM, not an IBM, there's a BBC Model B. Sitting on top of that is an Acorn Atom. I've got this computer here that I hand-built myself. I mean, love computers. Love. I won't have a word said against them. I was there from day one. Not literally day one, I'm not that old. But I was there from the 8-bit revolution. But it's not the computers that are the problem. It's the changing of the jobs. Now, jobs have changed throughout history. You go back 120 years ago, the world was filled with farriers and ostlers and grooms. Then the motor car came along and nobody wanted a horse and all those jobs went. But the garage mechanics came up. The car cleaning came up. You know, there was all this sort of thing that was happening. Chauffeurs, they got roles. So the jobs change. And a change of job isn't a problem. It's just a new skill. But it's not the change of the job here. We're not changing jobs. We're eradicating jobs. And the people who were doing them have got nowhere to go. There's nothing else that they can learn to do. And this is a problem. Anyway, from January to March, companies around announced 270,000 job cuts, with the technology sector accounting for more than a third of the cuts in the first quarter, at 102,000 layoffs just in the tech industry. This includes cuts at Amazon and Google's parent company Alphabet. A 396% increase from the same period last year, according to a report on April the 4th from outplacement firm Challenger, Gray and Christmas. Well, it isn't Christmas for those folks. Tasks which can be replaced involve providing employment verification letters or moving employees between departments. Other HR functions, however, such as evaluating workforce composition and productivity, won't be replaced within the decade, he explained, but it will come soon. IBM's plan is one of the most drastic workforce strategies announced in response to rapidly advancing automation technology. And after all, if IBM know what's happening, they are the ones. They are so far ahead of the bell curve on these things. I mean, they invented modern computing. They invented the very process of, you know, the way that the computer world works, and then lost out because they carried on building them instead of maintain. OS2 basically screwed them, which I'm not. That's another bloody video. But they were there. They were the forefront. The very fact that the world is the way it is today is because of IBM. They actually got out. I mean, I think they still own. Is it Lenovo? I think they're 50% partners in Lenovo, so they still make them technically, but they don't actually physically make them. They got into processing now. They're data processors. They're services, that kind of thing. There's no more hard machinery from IBM anymore. But they look at these things. They are so big, even now, that they know what is coming. And they're preparing for it. And if, like I say, if IBM know what's coming, then the rest of us have got to pay attention. Because IBM don't get things wrong. They are anal about the way they look at data, the way they do their market forces, the way they analyse everything is down to the nth degree. And if they think this is the way forward, you can bet your bottom dollar that this is the way forward. Job advice platform Resume Builder, it'll be Resume, it's American. Resume Builder surveyed 1,000 business leaders who either use or plan to use Microsoft AI breakthrough ChatGPT. I've had a go at that. It's actually it's quite impressive. It's not hard to defeat it in terms of confusing it, but you can do that quite simply by giving it false premises. But it will get harder and it will get better. It found that about half of the companies have implemented chatbots, and nearly half of this group say that ChatGPT has already converted employees at their companies. In other words, you're getting a point now where rather than having someone sit at a desk when you type in and have a conversation, I would like to make a complaint about this product. It's not a person at the end of the room, at the end of the line, sitting there responding by a keyboard. It's a robot. Tell me about your problem. Oh, is this? And the response is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's getting better and better and better. And it's frightening how quick. It's exponential growth. I mean, we all laughed in 1990 or 1992 at Terminator 2 when, Skynet went sentient. But how long before we do have sentient robots? It is not beyond the realms of possibility. Anyway, as this new technology is growing in the workplace right now, workers definitely need to think how it may affect their current job responsibilities. Stacey Haller, Chief Career Advisor at Resume Builder, was quoted as saying in the report, IBM currently employs 260,000 workers and is still hiring for software development and customer-facing roles. Yeah, it's customer faces that will be the ones going forward. Anything that is not of high skill value and that doesn't need physical interaction, it will go. And that is a lot of jobs. And that is also a big tax-based cut because those jobs get taxed when all of a sudden companies laying off all these people. That slack has to be taken up by the country. Country has to pay them, out of benefits and things, but they're not getting the tax base paid from their income tax. So the only way they're going to do it is basically if every company pays more tax in terms of its turnover or something. It has to be a tax like that. Alternatively, and it's something I heard once, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, was for every job that is replaced by an AI, the company gets taxed at the rate of that employee's salary for running that AI. In other words, you have to license AIs, and the cost of a licensing of an AI is the cost of one person's job. And therefore, you then tax that person, but because it's taxed at that one person's job, that is all tax to the country, and that will help pay for lots of other jobs. And that is the only way you're going to be able to afford universal basic income. But you need to fight it. You all need to fight it, and do not allow implementation of this. If you work for a company that's trying to bring in implementation, find somewhere else to work. Walk away, and don't give them your skills for nothing. Don't train your own replacement when your own replacement is going to be a robot. Put it that way. Anyway, I shall round off and come up. So any young uns coming up through, out of school now, they have got to stay in education as long as they can. They either need to become lawyers, solicitors, something like that, barristers, or medical doctors, things like that, because those skills will be the last to go under AI and technology. Alternatively, if you're not of that sort of ilk, then plumbers, plasterers, bricklayers, the trades, they will be needed for a long, long time. They will be the money earning jobs going forward. I mean, there were always money earning jobs, but they will be the big money earning jobs going forward. Will be the trades, anything that's customer facing, hair cutting, things like that. I mean, it sounds silly, but it's a skill. It is it's a transferable skill, and you will have a trade that you can earn. But if you were thinking, oh, I'd like to go and work in an office, I saw my dad. He was working in an office for 30 years. He had a great time. Those jobs are going. Those are absolutely destroyed by AI, unless you get to a very senior role. But the trouble is, how do you get to those very senior roles if you haven't come up through the books? How did you become the operations officer or the operations manager? Well, I started doing a bit of surveying. I did this, I did that. I did a couple of courses at night school. I did this. I was working for this office. I worked for this house builder. Doing what? Well, I was doing this and this. Well, those jobs ain't going to go, because your planning officers are going to go, because the computers just go look at it and go, this is what we want, boom, 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 boom. They've planned it for you. The architects, every house ever designed has gone in there, boom, they're up, and so forth. All these jobs in construction will go. All the back offices in construction will go. It'll just be the actual people doing the damn work that will be employed. Oh, and whoever's sitting in the sales office dealing with real people, they will have a job. But that's how bad it's going to be. There'll be no jobs, no low-end jobs, just the ones the computers don't want to do. Anyway, I shall round off there. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Please leave a like, that's the big one. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, stay working, and goodbye.